Hey Lawrenceburg, looking for something new? Come to Happy G's, located at 210 East Gaines Street. We have pitching machines, batting cages, and even indoor golf. Come get your game on indoors at Happy G's.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your evening update.
Partly cloudy skies across the area this afternoon. A few spotty showers moving through northwest Alabama after northeast Mississippi, but warm temperatures today between 75 and 80 degrees for daytime highs, but storms starting to develop off to the west, and this is round one of a two-round significant severe weather outbreak that will unfold across a large part of the Tennessee Valley. As of the time I'm recording this, just before midway through the 5 o'clock hour, we have a tornado watch back in the West Mississippi. Other tornado watches up into the Ozarks and the mid-Mississippi Valley. We might get a tornado watch here tonight for round one, an overnight threat that might include a strong tornado or two. There's already a flood watch in place across all of the viewing area, southern Middle Tennessee, North Alabama, and Northeast Mississippi, now through 1 a.m. Sunday morning for the likelihood of several inches of rain where storms train, especially tomorrow into tomorrow evening. In those training thunderstorm areas, there could be 3 to 6 inches of rain with isolated heavier totals that cause flash flooding potential. In addition, there's a wind advisory over Middle Tennessee and North Alabama through 1 a.m. Sunday morning for gradient background wind gusts away from thunderstorms of 30, 40, 45 miles per hour that will shove this warm, humid, unstable air in here to set up the severe storm threat. So here's the futurecast walking you hour by hour, and I will caution on this futurecast, it's not too aggressive with storms tonight. Storms could be a little more aggressive during the overnight hours tonight than what this futurecast shows, but where it does show a few spotty thunderstorms and rain showers, those could actually be isolated supercells overnight. Now, there's a big question mark on that because some of the data this afternoon has trended farther west with that. It's a very possible tonight's threat may stay off to the west of the area, and I certainly can't rule that out at all, but because if there is a supercell, it may have a strong tornado. We have to play it a little more cautious than normal to be on the safe side for safety's sake and assume that 1 or 2 of these might be supercells with a strong tornado or two. Scattered storms by daybreak on the warm front lifting north of the area going into midday, allowing a warm, humid, unstable environment in here late morning into midday where I actually think there will be a few sun breaks across the area by late morning that warm us up to the low to mid 70s, dew points climbing over 65. Unstable atmosphere, wind shear increasing, all those ingredients coming together for supercell thunderstorms to start to develop around lunch. Near that, give or take an hour or two earlier than that or an hour after that, back off to the west and then moving into our area in the early afternoon. Not just storms coming from the west, but storms developing in the area out in the open warm sector. And notice these intense rotation tracks that they have. Now, don't focus on the exact town one of these comes over, just the general idea that they're out there, and you see multiple of these violent supercell thunderstorms tracking up through northeast Mississippi, North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee tomorrow afternoon. Going into the evening hours, it doesn't really ramp down until after 10 p.m. There's still heavy rain after 10 p.m. and rumbles of thunder and maybe small hail, but we start to lose that intense storm fuel and the really strong spin in the atmosphere after 10 p.m. I think the tornado threat decreases after 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So the first round tonight, there's a significant risk of severe weather, but it's a question mark type risk on if supercells get in here, but conditionally, they may be really strong. So they have to be on the safe side and do the significant risk and the elevated risk, because if there is a supercell or two, it could produce one of those long track EF2 plus type tornadoes across the area. That's as early as 9 o'clock tonight going through sunrise on our Saturday morning. What's the high impact threat that looks like a tornado outbreak setting up across the area runs from roughly noon tomorrow until 10 p.m. Now, this is not the SPC high risk that you've seen on the internet, because what happens, they won't update that again until 1 a.m. after midnight tonight. And the data since they issued that has been trending farther northward with the morning rain and more favorable for that environment to get north into North Alabama and southern Tennessee. I think they're going to expand that high risk level 5 out of 5 northward through much of our area when they update it again overnight. But since you're going to be asleep, we want to make sure you get that information today. So we're drawing where the environment is favorable for those violent tornadoes, and that's why we've done the purple area. It's not to disagree with the SPC, it's to give you that information before you go to sleep tonight instead of waiting until when they actually issue it at 1 a.m. This is where that environment is favorable for those violent long track tornadoes, and the threat is highest in the purple area and the red area on the map across North Alabama, Northeast and East Mississippi, up into southern middle Tennessee. And there may even be a strong to violent tornado. SPC says an isolated one is possible all the way up to the Kentucky state line. So that's why this doesn't match perfectly with SPC. We're going by what the afternoon data has showed they will likely do for the overnight, and we're getting you that information now instead of waiting until after you're already going to be asleep and then it's a surprise in the morning. We want to give you as much lead time as possible, given the seriousness of the situation. In addition, level 3 out of 4, moderate risk for flooding tomorrow across all of the area here in red for the potential for that 3 to 6 inch rainfall where the thunderstorms train. Now, it's not exactly town to town where it shows here, but the idea there may be multiple bands in here with training thunderstorms with those 3 to 6 inch rainfall totals with the potential for flash flooding. So we've already talked about round 1 tonight and how it's a question mark, but there could be a strong tornado. But the severe weather outbreak for Saturday, noon to 10 p.m. We'll make sure that timeline is fine during the overnight and update it for in the morning. High threat of tornadoes, violent, long track, upper end type tornadoes are possible, and there may be more than one of that intensity. Also, damaging winds of 65 to 80 miles an hour are a significant threat. Supercells producing golf ball size hail, an elevated threat. A significant flooding threat with isolated areas of 4 to 6 inches of rain, and can't rule out higher totals than that. You have to have a plan, reliable warning methods, something that will wake you up during the overnight, also something that will alert you when the power goes out. Know where your safe place is ahead of time. That does not include mobile homes. Tomorrow is going to be a type of day where we can give you those extended storm tracks. They won't spin up out of nowhere. You will be able to track them from distances. We can give you 30 to 60 minutes of advance notice that a supercell is coming. You will have time to leave your mobile home and head to a safer place, whether it's a gas station, a restaurant, some type of business, or if you're in a town that has a community shelter, something like that. Head protection, not just for the kids, but for everyone, to protect your head and neck from flying debris. Tonight's forecast, showers and thunderstorms possible overnight. Not a foregone 100% guarantee, but they're possible. And if they do move in, it could be a supercell or two with a tornado threat, including a strong tornado possible, dropping out of the 70s into the 60s overnight. High threat of severe weather tomorrow, noon to 10 p.m. Tornado outbreak possible in the area. Long track, violent tornadoes are possible. We don't say that to scare you, but to give you an honest evaluation. Cooler Sunday into Monday as we clear out. Another chance of showers and thunderstorms Wednesday. Too early to say if that's a severe risk, but once we get past the system tomorrow, we'll be looking more closely. There's a look at your latest 7-day forecast. I'll be back live at 9 o'clock with another check of your local weather.